Me 35M. 29F wife of 10 years got drunk and let our neighbor bang her. Background: I could never stay with any one girl for longer than a month without sleeping with someone else. I was a true time addict. But when I was 25 I married my wife a month after we met. I never cheated on her and I never felt the need to. I love her. We have a fantastic marriage in nearly every regard. Except last month she got drunk while I was working late. Ended up talking to the neighbor, somehow they started kissing and before she knew what was what, she had let him slide inside her. She says she freaked out and left almost immediately after he started under 60 seconds according to her. She told me a week after it happened, and was clearly distraught. She says she will accept it if I can't trust her and need to separate, but that she never cheated on me in her heart, it wasn't an ongoing thing, etc. I don't know what to do here. We have 3 beautiful children and to be honest while the past few weeks have been hell for me, our family is surprisingly functional and I love my life. I love giving my children a home that is night and day compared to the life I grew up in. To break up seems a shame and a tragedy, yet I feel like the one thing that grounded me in my life has been robbed from me. I really don't understand it. She is such a good, selfless moral person. This kind of behavior is completely out of character for her. I like to think it only happened because of a drunken lapse of judgment and that she never fantasized about him, wanted to leave me, or have an affair. But how can I know? And does that even matter? Is one drunken moment enough to destroy what we've built? I'd like to say no. But what good is what we have, if she was able to forget its value for even a moment? What should I do? Edit: I to those that are saying it could have been F first, I agree it could have been. She says it's not. But 2 things: 1, I think she's afraid of getting the law involved. She feels responsibility for putting herself in that situation and is afraid it wouldn't hold up in court and then it would just be a bigger mess. 2, she is easily persuaded. She is a pleaser, so her in a drunk and emotionally vulnerable state, if I were to put myself back in my old time addict predator mode, would be an easy target. That right there is the crux of most our challenges. She's generally scared of telling people no. I have to make a conscious effort to, when I ask her for something, to ask her again and look in her eyes to see if she's telling the truth right there or just telling me what I want to hear. I've discussed with her going to a counselor. And when we do, this is going to be the biggest issue. I know she was timely abused as a child, so I am sure that has something to do with her submissiveness, but I don't want to be married to a submissive woman. It's a lot of work to take extra strides to make sure that what she is doing is what she really wants, especially when she is complying and I have to give up what I want voluntarily. I've gotten better at it, but it's a lot of work. Thank you all for your support. To the 2 fags who said I'm a troll, while I don't blame you, duck off. Story 2, Diffu by having a threesome with my girlfriend and her friend. So, this wasn't really yesterday, it was on New Year's, literally as the year started, and I'm still suffering the consequences, as this caused for my now former girlfriend to break up with me. For the sake of the post, I'm gonna call her Pink. Now, prior to this, and I'm sorry but I think context is needed, Pink and I'd been together for almost 4 years, and we had very good communication. We never hid anything and we spoke about everything, including when we were attracted to another person. Eventually this led to both of us speaking about hypothetically getting timely involved with another person, both her and I. We talked about it several times whenever I felt attracted to another woman, or her to another woman or man she's bistimul. Moving forward, she became friends with a girl that I'm going to call Blue for the purposes of this post. Pink met Blue through an art calling that they were both part of, and they really hit it off. Eventually, Pink introduced me to Blue during preparation for an art exhibition that they were going to expose at. At that moment Blue did not interest me much, as we did not interact much and I couldn't see her face due to everyone wearing a face mask. However, as time went by and we all hung out together without face masks, I got to know her a little better. Blue is gorgeous, lovely and charming, and I inevitably started to feel attracted to her. I did not want to get romantically involved with Blue, but I definitely felt that I wanted for something to happen. I of course talked about this with Pink, and she completely understood because she thought the same of Blue. For some time, I talked with Pink about Blue on various occasions, and regarding how she would feel if I kissed or had time with Blue. Pink said that it would be okay, and that it would even be nice because if I kissed or had time with another woman, she would rather have it be someone she knows. Pink told me that it was okay because she also felt that attraction. Right after Pink told me that it was okay, I felt more attracted to Blue and the idea of being with her, because I never would have done anything to hurt Pink or jeopardize our relationship. I did not actively pursue Blue, I did not even attempt to get her number or anything, I just let things flow as I was with Pink hanging out with Blue and other friends of Pink. Now, to the recent events that led to the duck up. For New Year's Eve, Pink went with her family to a house that they have about 6-7 hours away from the city, and Pink invited Blue to spend New Year's Eve with her. They left the city to be at the family house on the 27th, but I couldn't be there because of work. However, I was lucky. Now I know it was not a good kind of luck enough that Pink's cousin was heading up there on the 31st, so I tagged along as she agreed to take me there. As we were celebrating New Year's, we had a good time, we were drinking and we were all pretty drunk. Although none of us was super drunk, we were pretty drunk, but not to the point in which we were losing balance, so not that drunk. We went to the bedroom somewhat early, at around 3:30 a.m. as we were tired and ready to sleep. Pink, Blue and I were sharing the same bedroom. Pink and Blue were supposed to sleep on the bed, while I was supposed to sleep on a mattress on the floor. I did not mind at all, but Blue had suggested that I could sleep with them both as there was enough space in the bed, so of course I took the offer. As Pink went to the bathroom to get changed and all, Blue and I exchanged looks as I stared at her eyes and she stared back at me. We didn't talk, we didn't make any gesture, we just looked at each other. Blue already knew that I liked her. Pink told me that she had noticed, but I guess this confirmed it for Blue. I thought that Blue liked me back, because she did not avert her gaze, she looked at me as I looked at her. I still did not do anything at this moment, but this brought the idea of maybe trying something. Pink came back from the bathroom, and we all laid on the bed. Blue was at the leftmost part, I was in the right, and Pink was in the middle of the both of us. We all eventually got closer as I snuggled with Pink, and as I was going to wrap my arm around Pink, I grazed Blue's leg. I was really nervous as I thought I could progressively and slowly caress her and see if she likes it, or stops me, so I did. Very slowly, I started caressing her leg, starting from her knee and slowly moving down her leg until it was very clear to me that she was into it. I started getting really close to Blue's crotch, and eventually started touching her. Pink woke up and noticed what we were doing, and then Pink and Blue started making out. Duck, it's happening, oh man, this is the best way to start the year, I'm about to have a threesome with the woman I love and her friend. Duck, was I wrong? I mean, it was great, but what came after was the really big duck up. Throughout the threesome, I must admit I focused on Blue, it all was completely new to me, I hadn't been with another woman besides Pink, so she caught my attention. However, Pink seemed to be having a good time, and she did not say or make any gestures to indicate that she did not want any of this. Although it was pretty dark and we were all pretty drunk, and in retrospect, maybe I did not see any signs that I wouldn't have missed otherwise. We all had an amazing time, or so I thought, even though I was not able to get an erection. Alcohol and my penis don't mix up well, them for likes to go to sleep instead. After we stopped, we laid back on the bed, and this time, Blue was in the middle of Pink and I. Blue and I were still naked, while Pink did put on her pajamas. I snuggled to Blue very closely as her ass was right up to my crotch and I was hugging her and having one of my hands on her beast. We did not sleep much, or at least I did not. I was still full of desire as I was not able to unload it. A little bit further in the morning, at about 6, I was still awake, and I noticed that Blue was awake. I should have taken note that Pink was not. But Blue started moving and we started touching each other. We were not being loud or moving too much, and moments after, Pink got up the bed and headed out of the room. The way that Pink got out, I did not notice any body language indicating that she was upset or anything, and I thought that she was going to the kitchen to get some water. Blue and I continued, and we eventually ducked in the same position we were snuggling in. Moments after, Pink comes back and tells me that she wants to break up with me. I was shocked because I did not expect it. I thought we all had a good time on the threesome. I thought that what we did was okay as we had talked about it before, but apparently it was not. So to wrap everything up, Pink and I talked about it for the remaining days, At first she did not want to, but eventually allowed us to talk about it 3 or 4 times. Basically, Pink did not want to have a threesome, but felt pressured and did not know how to deal with that pressure as she was still drunk. Bear in mind, none of us was super drunk, we were pretty drunk, but not even to the point in which we were losing balance. Pink did not say anything after the threesome ended as she was too tired and fell asleep really quick. Now, Pink thought that it was going to be okay for me to have time with Blue prior to all of this, but after the threesome, she noticed that she was not okay with it, that it most likely would affect her, but we did not get the chance to talk about it. I did not ask Pink about the threesome, not before it happened nor after. Based on what we talked, I assumed that I was okay, and based on how I perceived things during the threesome, I also thought that it was okay for me to have time with Blue, but I definitely should have talked with Pink before. I should have woke her up and asked if it was okay. I should not have started anything without her. I really ducked up. We had talked about getting married, we were going to live together this month, we were creating projects for the future. She was my everything. Duck, I wish I could go back in time. I feel like the shittiest person on earth right now. My relationship with Pink was based on communication, on the fact that we talked about anything. We absolutely love that about ourselves, but mostly I ducked that up when it mattered the most. I apologize for the huge wall of text, but I felt that I needed to tell the whole story. I'm not pretending to excuse myself of any blame in any way, and I hope I'm not portraying myself as such, because duck, am I guilty for this? Pink is firm on her decision of breaking up, and does not want to try to fix things. I hope she changes her mind, and I'll let her know that I'll be here if that changes, because she meant everything to me, but there's nothing we can do. We talked about it until late yesterday before she blocked me from everywhere. I'm sharing all of this not only because it is a way of venting and not keeping everything bottled up, but also in hopes that someone learns from my mistakes. Please communicate with your significant others, don't assume anything. Consent changes with time, and even if it was previously discussed that it was alright, always confirm before doing anything. Edit, to all the negative comments attacking me, yeah, I deserve it, I deserve whatever comes. I know I really ducked up, I know I beyond ducked up. There was some lack of communication from both ends that caused this, but I should have realized how she felt. I should have paid more attention instead of letting myself go through what was going on. I have been talking and crying with Pink throughout all these days, about how everything happened, how she felt, how I felt. There's much more that came up as we talked, but I'm not going to make another wall of text as I know it was pretty long to begin with. And I'm not here to make any excuses, or take any blame off myself. Even though I failed to portray that in some parts of the text, but yeah, I completely 200% ducked up.